Man, it's such a difference when I turn this light on. Before I turn this light on, it looks like scary movie kind of lighting or something. Then I turn this light on, it's like, whoa, it's daylight. Um, Anyways, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about. This morning I'm just getting totally flooded. So one of the things is, I'm just gonna jump right in. But I felt like I need to start doing some kind of introduction or something. Maybe before I start, because now like there's so many videos, I don't know. Somebody's gonna go back and watch all those. And so, they could be thinking like they need to tell me something, but don't bother. If you want to have a real talk, a real connection, then yeah, I would like to talk to you. But yeah, I don't need to be corrected about stuff. If you can't appreciate my perspective, I don't need to hear about it. If you think I'm weird, my voice is any of that stuff, um, you know, I don't really care. Sorry. So, I have a brain injury. I talk about what happened to me and the stuff I've been through. There's, a lot of stuff talking about it. I'll probably do another one kind of to try and, put it up a little bit further. I don't know. I think kind of maybe it makes a difference. Like people have a lower standard. Like once you say brain injury, they just like, oh, she's crazy, she's retarded. Just scoot it down. And so when I say words wrong or I put the wrong word in, then they just are like, you know. And then her beliefs, well, she's crazy. So, anyways, my beliefs came from long, long before my brain injury. I've been a new age person since, for like 40 years. I started way back in my early 20s. I was like 21 when I started being into reincarnation and stuff, and that was considered new age. It was just crazy stuff. And my whole life I was telling people there was aliens. Nobody would listen. Nobody believed me. And but I guess it's referred to as a channeler or something when you can hear the other side talking. And they've been talking to me since I was little. It's always just been a part of my life. I didn't know it wasn't going on for everybody else. I thought it was like we all had the same thing. It's only more recently that I started seeing life in this other way. After my brain injury, and I had to do a lot of healing that led to a lot of spiritual healing. And, I was in the rat race for, I don't know, 30 years, I guess. Probably, I don't know. I would say somewhere in my mid 20s for sure. But then I got kicked out of it when I got a brain injury. And what was that? I was like 48 or 49. So however long that is, I was in the rat race, and I played along. I was not an alcoholic, a workaholic and a shopaholic. I wasn't an alcoholic. I was born to one, and I married I married 4 of them, but I was in a relationship with a lot more, so that has been a part of my existence since I was born. And I was in the medical community. I was, when I went to school as a younger person, I went and I became a medical assistant. At the time, I was, in my early 20s, and I thought it was a nurse. I didn't know it was a doctor office nurse. So, but I became office manager. I like the medical assistant part, though. I like the giving shots and doing all those kind of procedure things is the part I liked. I was not very keen on being an office manager. That's just not my thing. And but I was very young, so I was I was just thinking it's so crazy because how much when I was younger, I guess I was pretty to a lot of people. And when you are pretty to people and you don't see yourself is that way, then you can just get used and spit up and chewed up and, all the time. And so that was a big part of my life journey, was being used constantly. And being used and, like that's, I'm sure why I was the office manager. It was who, when people came in, it was an internist office, and it was a small office, but, it was like really regular people. And I was, who they got to talk to. And, yeah, it's weird. So anyways, I did learn a lot in that practice. But anyways, throughout my life, I went through so much stuff. From the time I was born, it was just like constant crises, one crisis after another. And there was, I just couldn't even understand life at all. It didn't make any sense to me. I couldn't understand how people interacted. I couldn't understand, like, even when you tried to point out things to people about the world, that they couldn't. So at some point, yeah, I just kind of like gave up and just went along with everybody else, and just, I felt super defeated, kind of. And then, you don't even recognize you're being used. I was a catalyst over and over in people's lives. It was like life was constantly happening to me. You know what I mean? Life wasn't happening for me. I wasn't participating. I wasn't doing anything. It just was all happening to me. And I was like, had no control, and I couldn't understand it. And it was, I don't know, it wasn't like I turned my back on God or spirituality or whatever. But it was more like I just was just like, okay, I guess this is what I got to do. And just really got into, trying to survive like everybody else. But I didn't have that same, it seems like a lot of people were focused on stuff differently than I was. I was like just doing it to try and survive. But there's some people who are really caught up in the, enjoy this weird system we have going here. And I have stuff about the medical stuff. I guess this has just turned into kind of like a bio to kind of get, kind of show you like where I'm coming from. But I started my career basically in the medical community, and I started learning stuff then. Then I, life led me in a certain way, and I had to, when I got divorced, it was really, that's a whole long story, but I got trapped in California. I was somebody who was psychotic, who was, I guess they wanted to kill me. And I was trapped. It was a really hard time, but they got a court order that I couldn't work. And so at that time I could go and work under the table. I had been an artist since I was young. I came from a family of artists. So I got an apprenticeship as a tattoo artist because I could work under the table. This was a long time ago. And you could, get away with a lot more stuff back in the day. The government's been steadily moving in. So anyways, so I was out of the medical community for a while, but then once I, life went in another way, and then I had divorced that husband. Later on, I married another one. It's just like the same, your life will repeat itself until you make the change. And it takes a long time sometimes. It took me a long time to figure that out. And so I, in that relationship, then I was just a stay-home mom. I just stay home, and it was very controlled. I was with older people a lot, older men, and it was very controlled. And I guess that's like where you're kind of like a trophy wife or something. Like you should just sit there, look pretty, and shut up. And you know, it's empty. Nobody wants to listen to you. Nobody thinks you have any brains at all. Oh, even though they'll tell you, oh, you're so smart. You're so smart. So, you know, going through all of that stuff, it led me to like a really kind of depressed place in my life where I felt like I wasn't really tuned in so much. I was just trying to survive. But when I left that relationship, I went back to nursing school and I became a nurse. And so then I worked at the hospital and stuff. And then I saw the medical community from that perspective. I'd already seen it from the office perspective and that side of the hospital. Now I was in the hospital and I got a perspective. And I have scoliosis. And I don't know, I guess it gets worse as you get older. I don't know what the hell happens with it. Because I don't even know that they diagnosed that way back when I was a kid like they do now. And maybe they could have done something. But anyways, it caused me to have migraines and spasms, which got me involved with the medical community from that perspective. So I was then a patient. And then I saw what Big Pharma plays. And in the hospital, I saw how Big Pharma plays and doctors play. And I saw how it all plays together. And I saw a lot of addicts, a lot of little old ladies. You know, I saw people being misled about their health. I saw, you know, just so much, there's just so much ego and so much greed and so much, you know, it's really ugly. It's dirty. It's like, you know, when the mafia owned all the garbage, they probably still do. That's what I said before. They probably still do, and that's why we have this weird thing with the recycling, where they're making third world countries take our damn plastic bottles. But anyways, that is what the medical community really is. It's not. It's who ended up injuring me. And then I've been to court, saw how that system works. My case is still it's still in the court system. You know, when they do something to you, I guess they just hope that you'll die before there's any settlement. And I saw how all the other doctors will cover one another in this boys' club. I saw, you know, you lose your friends. I saw, and just even with the licensing, you know, suddenly there was no place for me in the world. You know, they decided I needed to be retired. I was disabled because they broke my memory, and I can't remember things, and then I mix up numbers and stuff like that. But you know, there would have been someplace. You know, there could have been someplace for me. But anyways, that's part of their whole system. And just the stuff, the lies and stuff that they say in court and get away with it. Oh my gosh, where people think that having their hand on a Bible gives them integrity, it doesn't. You know, that's something you got to find inside of you. And, you know, some people are willing to throw it away for a paycheck. And we've seen that over and over and over in this system that has been built. And, you know, and I know it's part of my thing that I'm supposed to speak out of, because, you know, once I was in the system as a patient, the medicine, they had me on 18 pills. It was killing me. I got colitis from that. I was super, super sick. I couldn't even walk some days. I just would lay on the couch in so much pain I couldn't even get up. I'd have to hold a wall. And that was after, you know, when they told me I had to go in and get my hysterectomy. And that's when they gave me the brain injury, because the doctor who was the anesthesiologist was doing insurance fraud and was so caught up in his insurance fraud that, you know, I wasn't seen as a person. And his debt was the main concern there. And so that not only did it damage my brain, and like I've been told I was lucky that I lived through what he did, but it wasn't just him too, because it was all the players that played after. A lot. A lot. You know, it was malpractice, 100%. And my lawyer knew that. I mean, she's the lawyer everybody wants in the town I'm from. She's the lead malpractice lawyer. I don't even know how, if it's in other states or whatever. She's very, very good. And she dumped $100,000 of her own money into my account, into my stuff, into my experts and stuff like that. But you don't even realize the corruption you're up against until you're in that system. And it makes me so sad. Right after that, and her husband was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I guess he went down super fast. She had to sell her place in Seattle. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and I feel bad, like I'm a part of things that in her life, because she put so much money in mine, and that's one of the big reasons why I want to get the money back is, to make sure she has money. Anyways, that's a whole nother thing. But so, and after that hysterectomy, they messed up in that one. That should have been a thing right there. I had to go in and get a second surgery. I mean, I was bleeding. I had holes in my, what was it? There was because then they had left something. Oh, there was holes. So they had left my ovaries. They untwisted them. I don't know if they removed the cyst or whatever. Immediately, they were covered with cysts, huge blood cysts and stuff like that. I was bleeding out of my vagina. And I was like, what is going on? There shouldn't be any blood in my... And so when they went in to fix all their stuff, I know that there was holes in my vagina from where, that's how blood was going through my body into holes in my vagina coming out. So we had a whole case there. But anyways, my brain was the bigger thing. And the community is so corrupt and so bad. And I had to take control of my own health. And also when they did the brain injury, because they emptied my body of a cerebral spinal fluid for almost a week. And I know I was saved by divine guidance or divine hands. It wasn't. But whenever that did that, it messed up my eyes. And then, of course, the medical community is going to fix it and fill them full of chemicals and lasers and all sorts of shit. And so now I can see way worse than I ever could. I'm going blind, I guess, apparently, because my eyes now have glaucoma from them damaging my optic nerve by starving it with no fluid. And then they've somehow, I don't know, did something inside my eyes now where it's just full of these things you can't see past. So anyways, medical community is not here for us. It's not here to help us. It's not here to make us better. I went off of all of the 18 medicines myself. I looked them up. I weaned off. I did it all myself. I focused on my own health. I had to change my own attitude and stuff to get a brain injury and be able to, any life-changing accident that happens to somebody and you lose everything, you lose your whole identity, you have to rebuild it yourself. You have to find resilience in yourself, to that drive to no matter how many times I get kicked in the teeth, I got to get back up. I got to survive. And I'm just one of those people. I'm a survivor. I've been surviving my whole life. And that is, just a part of who I am. And I know it's a part, and now I see it more of why it is that way. And now with all the stuff happening on the earth and stuff, now I see, what I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, it's like this inner calling that you can't deny, And so it is speaking out about how to help other people gain their own strength and their own independence from some of these systems that are out to kill us, and to find your own inner strength as well, because we all have it in there, and we all have times of being beat down, and and knowing the other side. They are a part of my life, and the other side to me is all around me. It's everywhere. And the beings that are all around me, I don't see them just like angels and devils and aliens and stuff. I see them as energy. I see them as multidimensional beings, consciousness that has more control of itself than, we're just learning. We're like the fumbling little puppies of consciousness right now, and we're transitioning into this new existence on this planet. And so many things that I understood when I was younger, that then I got caught up in the system. Then I had to go through my brain injury, get back in touch. Then that is when everything has started making sense, especially 2020, really. But they were constantly leading me into more and more information. And another thing I want to say real quick to add on to this too, about, when I was younger, and, I couldn't see my own beauty at all. I thought I was completely weird looking. And, and I was really tall and skinny and gangly. I got girl parts added to the front of me, and they don't look like they match my body. It drives me crazy. My kids constantly, like I look like some sort of Barbie doll or something. These things that don't match the rest of my body stuck on the front. But that was my girl part. And, why couldn't I just be confident without them? Why did I feel like I needed them? It didn't make me better. But the thing is like now I can look at myself and I can see a beautiful person, but I don't look at myself the same way as I looked at myself then. And that's why I want to share it, because I think that we all get so caught up in looking at ourselves under a microscope. We just go in and just pick ourselves apart. Oh, I don't like my pointy nose. Oh, my mouth's too small. Oh, my eyebrows are too arched. Oh, my eyes are too small. Oh, my hair's too flat. We just go through and, whatever it is we don't like about ourselves is all we can see. That's all we can focus on. But then when you just step back, now I've stepped back and I can just look at myself as a whole and just go, that's Kelly. That's Kelly. That's a girl I created. And it's making I feel like I'm going to tear up. Then you can love yourself. You can be so proud of yourself. Once you see yourself as your own creation, your own being. And that was a gift for me from getting a brain injury, of having to put me on a new track, because I was unhappy in the rat race. It was horrible. I hated it. Hated every minute of it. I hated the backstabbing people. I hated the, it's like high school just plays out and plays out. Like, when are these people going to grow up? And, and now I have my time is my own time. And, this is a beautiful time in my life. My responsibilities are 2 dogs. One of them's not even mine. I'm just dog sitting. And, it's a great time in my life. And I am completely free. And yeah, I may have some disabilities or some things that are a little bit different from somebody else, but really we're all different from each other. We shouldn't think that we all have to be the same. That's not what this is about. We need to learn how to just accept everybody, and not, we're moving out of this competitive spirit that we've been kind of more inclined. But it was an age, the Piscean age of, the good and bad, of figuring out what's good and bad. And I know for me, I've left it as there is no good or bad. It's all perspective. How can anybody tell us what's good or bad? Just as how can anybody tell us our own rules for ourselves? We are the ones who make our own rules. We are the ones who are in power and control of our own lives. That's the gift. You know, there is nobody coming out there to save you. You are your savior. You are right there with you all the time. And when you feel alone, like I really have noticed is that, you know, my guides, my team, whatever you want to call your spirit, you know, I mean, it's, to me, it's a whole huge amount of people. And they take, you know, they come in at different times. You have your own higher self, your own higher aspect up there, you know, guiding you along. So when you're getting upset because life is, you know, screwing you around, you got to remember your higher self is driving the car. They're trying to get you on the path that you are supposed to be on. You could be trying to go on the wrong path. So yeah, nothing's going to go right. They're trying to guide you, turn you another direction. So you got to feel the current of your life. You got to be tuned in to who's guiding you. And, you know, you have, to me, it's like a little cheerleader team. And I know there's dark energy out there too, and they're constantly trying to pull people into. And the more you can raise yourself and feel good about yourself, the more that won't mess with you. If you're down there and you're depressed and you're down there with it, you know, you're going to have it be hitting you a lot harder. So the more you can get up out of it, the more buoyant, the more up, the more high vibration you can feel, then, you know, you pull yourself out of that. That doesn't mean you're not going to be ever attacked. I mean, some of those energies are big. I mean, some people see them as like giant demons. So, and, you know, we come in contact with so many, I mean, our energy is so much bigger than what we think. It's not just this person. It's not just my energy. And I admit, like, you walk in a room and, you know, however it is, you know, if people turn and you take up a room or whatever, that's a real thing. That is, you know, your energy is outside of you coming in, and we feel it. We feel each other. That's why I think it's kind of weird in movies when they show somebody standing behind somebody and they don't feel it. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I can feel it if somebody is up on me, you know, energetically, you can feel it. I don't know. Anyways, you know, this time we're in right now, it's all about healing and stuff. I'm going to stop this one and start right back because this one's gotten super long and there's more stuff I want to keep talking about.